Okay, so my name's Ross, and my game is Thornhead. I'm trying to come up with a game for CAGD 495. I want to make a horror game that involves a lot of puzzles and exploration of the environment, as well as a trial and error game where the character is meant to die. I myself am a little bit of a programmer, not a whole lot. I focus more heavily on art and assets like 3D modeling and cinematography like light and shadowing and angles of cameras. I find myself a little bit of a concept artist, so the game Thornhead is a suspenseful puzzle-based game. It's a single-player game. It's known as a trial and error game, which is very similar to games like Heart of Darkness on the PlayStation 1 by Eric Chai. So I'm wanting to target like a demographic of 20-year-olds that are into horror games, people who enjoy monster movies and a good scare, somebody like the challenger player type. A trial and error game is where you're meant to die in order to learn through the progression of your mistakes. So one of the ideas is that I have a key that maybe is up real high in a tree somewhere, and the character only has a gun with one bullet in it. So he's able to shoot down the bullet, breaking the branch, and the key falls down. Well, then you use the key to open a safe, and in there is a combination code, and you'll use that to eventually unlock a gate and enter into a new area. The cool thing about this is if the character dies once they get past that gate, you personally as the player know what that combination code is. So when you start over from the very beginning, you don't need to waste your one bullet again in order to shoot the key and find the combination code. You just automatically go past and through and into the next area. With that one bullet, you die, but you'll get the bullet back again, and you could use that to progress the game further and use the gun to solve other puzzles. It's not necessarily there to kill the enemy, because you can't. The monster is actually overpowered, and within one hit you're pretty much dead. So if you're trying to solve a puzzle in an area and you don't want to lose your progression, you want to hide and avoid the monster as much as possible. It'll be looking for you, it'll be patrolling the area, and if it spots you, it'll run after you and it'll find you. It could use direct sight, and it can also use sounds that it hears. It'll be searching the area, and it'll try to look in areas that it might find you. Try to avoid it as much as possible. Of course, not all the time will the monster be there hiding and waiting for you. As you're playing through the game, you'll learn more about the story and why this is happening and what is going on and why you have to relive the curse of dying every day. You'll eventually come across an old witch that'll tell you more about the story. Someone had died and they're seeking revenge. It's all happening in the 18th century in Canada during the winter, where a lot of people have been getting killed through natural events. I plan on marketing this with posters that I print and half sheets that are in black and white and post them all over the school. I even plan to print off stickers with QR codes so that people can download it. I'm of using a promotion where I give away certain items to people who've completed the game to hopefully bring in an audience. I'll also advertise it with YouTube videos and even itch.io if I could get it to fit on there. Maybe even a Steam account. This will probably be a big budget for you stakeholders, so it's going to be about $300,000. But for CAGED, I'm only going to ask $6,000 from them. The production timeline will only be about 4 months, but I hope to actually get the scope down to 3 months. That way that we have that last month that we use to polish the game. The game is specifically art-based, but leans a little bit into programming, but not a whole lot. Because a lot more people are into art in the CAGD, I plan to actually use that in order to further the game's development so that it could look really nice. So there won't be a whole lot of combat or action for this game. I plan to write the story myself and make a script for the events that are going to play out. But I need sound artists, which is a big thing. And I hope to do this in Unity and develop it that way. But I need somebody who's going to be able to handle the GitHub account and also a few programmers, maybe 3, to handle the AI for the monster. But the biggest thing is I need animators for the monster and I need animators for the player character, because there's going to be a third-person game. That means if the character is going to be crawling, I've got to animate them crawling under something, as well as standing back up. Idle animations, getting hit by the monster. And of course, because the monster is going to be an all-original creation, I need sculptors and modelers for that. There's also a big emphasis on texture artists, since it's going to aim towards realism as much as possible. And I need C# programmers because it's going to be in Unity. Of course, I need animators to be able to rig as well, and hopefully that can be within the budget. The biggest reason I want to make this game is because nobody's actually really made a game involving death as a way to progress. Similar to games like Heart of Darkness, being able to die is something that progresses the game. I hope that a lot of people who are big monster fans are going to like this game. People who are casual player types that hopefully can beat it within 15 to 30 minutes long gameplay with a huge replay value. Maybe it'll be interesting like a lot of other horror games out there. And that's my game. Hopefully Thornhead gets picked for $4.95 next semester.